It's always a great honor to have him in the city of New Orleans, and of course the City Hall Governor. It's great to see you. Of course, Colonel Mike Edmondson, who has been a great partner with the state police, and of course Chief Michael Harrison. I want to make sure that everybody knows how incredibly important the relationship and the partnership is between the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, and actually our federal partners as well. I've said many, many times that the reason why things succeed in the city is because of great partnerships, all of us working together for a common goal and a common purpose. And of course, there is no more important priority for me, and I know for the governor, than public safety. It's our number one priority. We work every day to make New Orleans safer, to reduce response times, and to grow the New Orleans Police Department. Crime statistics show that overall crime was down last year, more significantly in the French Quarter because of a lot of the work that we have done together. But I clearly recognize that one murder, one armed robbery for the victim is too much. And so that's why you have heard me talk a lot about doubling down on public safety in 2016. You know that we are aggressively hiring and training a much larger, more professional force. We're giving them the tools that they need, and it's only by growing and making sure that we have the right number of people in place and the right partnerships where we're going to make the city of New Orleans, and consequently the state of Louisiana, a safer place, not only for the people that live in New Orleans, but for the people that visit here every day. We had 10 million visitors last year. We are, in fact, an international city, and we have an internationally trained police force. But as I've said many, many times, our work could not be done and not complete without the partnerships that we have. And one of the great partnerships that we have had for a very long time is with Colonel Edmondson and, of course, all of the men and women on the state police force, which I think do a spectacular job. Last year, we went out to the voters and said that we needed to raise revenue to make sure that we gave the state the resources they needed to help us and to keep an elevated presence of state troopers in the city of New Orleans. Everybody knows now that there is a partnership between the City of New Orleans, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Convention Center, that has a pool of about $5 million in it that is being used to fund the presence of state troopers at an elevated level in the City of New Orleans to assist NOPD with the work that we have been doing together. We have worked very, very hard with the state police also on DNA testing, and of course, when there's special events, the state police have always been with us. People sometimes forget, but in the city of New Orleans, we were the first major city to do a Super Bowl after 9/11, and so we do this very, very well. We want this partnership to continue. The governor and I have been working together. We just had a great conversation and understand that the elevated state police presence will be with us as NOPD continues to grow aggressively, and as we continue to help fund those efforts in partnership with the state of Louisiana. As you know, we have had 9 recruit classes in the last couple of years. For the first time in many years, we are now hiring more people than are leaving the city of New Orleans. We have a police force that you know is under consent decree, but has just done an unbelievable job of standing themselves back up and look forward to continuing to make the city more safe as we protect not only the city of New Orleans, all of the neighborhoods in this city, but the people of the state and our international visitors as well. But as I've said many times, the governor and I share priorities of economic opportunity, of public safety, of all of the things that are necessary to stand this city and the state back up, and understand that our partnership is critically important, not only for our area, but for North Louisiana, the western part of the state. We are all one state, and we work together in that regard. So, Governor, I want to thank you for coming, and we stand ready to assist you and work with you to make the state a wonderful place. Please help me welcome Governor John Bel Edwards.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to offer a short statement thanking the mayor and Chief Harrison and certainly Colonel Edmondson from the state police. It truly is a partnership. I committed during the campaign that not only would public safety for the state of Louisiana be the #1 priority, but that we would maintain our partnership with the city of New Orleans for as long as necessary with an elevated presence of state police officers. And we now have a framework within which to do that. Given the partnership that the mayor just talked about with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Convention Center of the City of New Orleans, and certainly the tax that was passed in the French Quarter. And so we now have the opportunity to move forward where we will maintain that elevated presence year round, and the city will go about the process of standing up a larger and better police force. And so we're excited about what this means for the city of New Orleans, what it means for the state of Louisiana. And of course, we do this a few days before the Mardi Gras festivities really kick off in a big way. And I'm excited about the opportunity that people have here in New Orleans and from around the state and really from around the world to come to New Orleans and enjoy safely some of the best that Louisiana has to offer. And so I just want to again thank the mayor, and I look forward to continuing working with you over the years to come to make sure that we best serve the people of Louisiana, and that I will help you as it relates to your service to the people of New Orleans.
Yeah. I think today tells us several things, but it tells us the unwavering commitment of the state of Louisiana to the city of New Orleans. You've seen that. You've seen us since July of the previous year. Since March of this past year, you've seen anywhere between 50 and 100 state troopers have been assisting the city of New Orleans, Chief Harrison, as they continue to regrow. Public safety, as you heard from the governor, is the #1 priority. We want people, when they go to bed at night and they click that light off, they've got to feel safe. They get up in the morning, they go to work, they go to play, they go to school. Wherever they go, they got to feel safe on our highways. And let me just tell you the numbers very quickly. We started an element, as you know, anywhere up to 50 troopers have been here since March of last year. This past weekend that just ended, we had 32 additional troopers over and above those troopers working alongside New Orleans police officers inside the French Quarter. We have an element of 16 criminal patrol units that's inside the city as we speak right now. That's patrolling the interstates, patrolling some of the roads, working alongside of NOPD, specifically looking for a criminal element that's here to do people harm. Whether we're dealing with trying to find wanted individuals, working alongside with New Orleans, specifically looking and targeting criminal element that's working inside the city. Starting Friday afternoon, I'm bringing 170 troopers. This was approval by the governor that we bring 170, again, on top of those numbers, troopers that'll be working in and around the city, primarily in the French Quarter area, so they will take New Orleans, they can redeploy them to other parts of the city. But keep in mind, when we come here during these high-profile events, we can go anywhere in the city. When something happens, we can deploy those elements, whether it's on a parade route, whether it's out in New Orleans East, within the Central Business District, whether it's along Carrollton, wherever crime takes in the city, we can redeploy and move people in those areas. We've been doing tabletop exercises with our DEA partners, with the new SAC, Jeff Salat here in the New Orleans area. You know, we were here just a few weeks ago talking with the mayors. We talk about the deployment of individual officers and troopers and public safety advocates into the city. You heard some things we're working with the Massachusetts State Police. As we stand here at this moment, just checking a few moments ago, there are no known threats to the city of New Orleans. I know that FBI has ramped this up to a tier 2 event. That's more so for preparedness and making sure that public safety remains our priority. No known threat, as a few minutes ago, as I said, to the city of New Orleans. We'll keep checking all avenues around this country, around the world, to look at anything that's happening to see if there's some nexus back to the city of New Orleans or anywhere within the state of Louisiana. Our fusion center that's housed in Baton Rouge will actually be housed as a secondary location here in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, just to make sure, just to be on the safe side as we bring a large element into the city, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that all eyes and ears are upon this city as we have people descending from around the country as around the world. Public safety is our #1 priority. You know, as I walked up here, I just was briefed on 2 traffic stops, one that was made yesterday and one that was made today, that brought hundreds of pills, OxyContin, Soma, MDMA, and cocaine that was headed for the streets of New Orleans for Mardi Gras. That was a stop that was made earlier this morning. Just yesterday, 15 pounds of brown tar heroin, 36 bottles, 60 pounds of crystal meth that came out of Houston. How much of that was destined for New Orleans? We don't know. We think the majority of it was going to Atlanta. But here it is. We stopped it between here and here in Houston. So that's what we're doing every single day. And that partnership that we talk about, there's not one finer in this country than what you have between the New Orleans Police Department and the Louisiana State Police. Today tells you that's going to continue.
I want to thank the mayor, thank you, Governor, thank you, Colonel. We have always enjoyed and benefited from a great, robust partnership with New Orleans Police and Louisiana State Police. Today, we also continue that commitment. We continue to enjoy the benefits of that partnership. That partnership and that elevated presence with the state police here in New Orleans allows me to make sure we have adequate staffing in every part of the city, because I'm responsible for the security of every neighborhood and making sure every neighborhood is safe, that every citizen feels safe, and that they actually are safe. And so that partnership allows us to be able to adequately deploy as we recruit, hire, train, and deploy our resources. That elevated presence with state police allowed us to have a 10% decrease in crime last year. It allows us to have high visibility, increased citizen satisfaction. All of these things are working to help NOPD become a better police department and New Orleans become a safer city. So with that, I thank the governor and I thank the colonel for their continued support.